What if the Pacific Ocean drained completely? It begins with the sound of silence. Imagine the largest ocean on Earth gone. No waves, no tides, no horizon of blue. The Pacific Ocean drained completely. This is not a world we were meant to see. But what if somehow the impossible happened? What if the Pacific Ocean, home to more than half of Earth's water, simply vanished? Pacific Ocean, covering more than 60 million square miles, deeper, wider, older than any other body of water on our planet. It is a living, breathing system, stretching from the icy Arctic Circle to the blazing edge of Antarctica. Let us break reality for a moment. Let us say a cosmic drain opens somewhere in the ocean floor, or perhaps a cataclysmic rupture tears through the crust, emptying the Pacific into the deep mantle below. Is science fiction, and yet it forces us to ask, what really lies beneath the blue? Beneath those endless waves lies a landscape more alien than Mars. Vast mountain ranges, endless plains of volcanic ash, canyons that make the Grand Canyon look like a crack in the sidewalk. And now, in our imagined world, it is all exposed to the air. The moment the Pacific begins to drain, chaos ignites. Within days, the global climate begins to convulse. Tides disappear. Ocean currents, those invisible rivers that carry warmth and life across the planet, collapse. The Earth's natural air conditioner switches off. The Pacific is not just water. It is a stabilizer, a massive engine that regulates heat, weather, and even carbon balance. Remove it and the planet starts to unravel. Without the Pacific's surface to absorb sunlight, global temperatures spike. The equatorial belt, the heart of the old ocean, becomes an inferno. Vast salt flats shimmer where waves once rolled. Temperatures there exceed 60 degrees Celsius. Jet streams, those high-altitude winds shaped by the Pacific's warmth, break apart. Monsoons vanish. Typhoons no longer form. But the destruction does not stop at the waterline. The missing ocean changes everything. Rainfall patterns collapse across Asia and the Americas. Australia, once coastal, is now a furnace of dust. California stretches hundreds of miles westward into barren desert, and the Pacific Rim, the Ring of Fire, is exposed like an open wound. The Pacific Ocean sits atop some of the most volatile tectonic zones on Earth. Out billions of tons of water pressing down on it, the crust begins to move. Pressure that once held the Earth's skin in place releases. Volcanoes erupt across the Pacific Basin. Hawaii, Japan, Indonesia, New Zealand all roar back to life. The seafloor, once cooled by icy abyssal waters, begins to heat. Methane gas trapped under the mud thaws and erupts into the air. The greenhouse effect spirals out of control. A runaway warming cycle begins. And there is another consequence, one most of us would never think about. The Earth itself would wobble. Right now, the Pacific Ocean holds more than 700 million cubic kilometers of water, nearly half the planet's surface mass in motion. Remove it, and the Earth's balance changes. The planet's rotation slows just enough to alter the length of a day, perhaps by a few seconds. But over centuries, that tiny change reshapes gravity, weather, even the orbit of satellites above us. Coastal tides on the remaining oceans become chaotic. The Atlantic surges unpredictably. The Indian Ocean floods inland. The world's coastlines redraw themselves in months. Yet, amid the catastrophe, something extraordinary is revealed. The world no human has ever seen. The Pacific Basin, once hidden beneath miles of water, now stands bare. You could walk across it, though it would take years, from the shores of the Philippines to the coast of Peru, an expanse wider than all the continents combined. You would see the deepest point on Earth, the Mariana Trench, now a yawning canyon more than 7 miles deep. Its walls, once home to glowing creatures, now crumble under the harsh, dry air. Salt storms sweep across the basin, each gust carrying particles of ancient ocean life, dust that once swam, fossilized remains, sunken shipwrecks, lost planes, all scattered across the ghostly plain. a record of human and geological history uncovered in a single, impossible moment. For humanity, the consequences are immediate and brutal. 2/3 of the world's population lives near the Pacific Rim. Tokyo, Manila, Los Angeles, Lima, cities built beside the sea are suddenly hundreds of kilometers from water. Fisheries vanish, trade collapses, the Pacific economy, once the beating heart of global exchange, ceases to exist. Without the Pacific's moisture, agriculture across Asia fails. Rice fields turn to dust. The Amazon basin, deprived of Pacific rainfall, withers into savanna. Humanity faces a crisis not seen since the dawn of civilization. Mass migrations begin, nations crumble under heat, famine, and unrest. And as the oceans drain, even the remaining seas begin to die. When the Pacific goes, the rest of the planet follows. Ocean circulation, the conveyor belt of life, depends on balance between basins. Without the Pacific's input, the Atlantic stagnates, the Indian Ocean heats beyond survivability. Marine life across the globe collapses. Plankton, the foundation of Earth's oxygen cycle, declines. Within decades, atmospheric oxygen drops measurably. The air itself becomes thinner, harder to breathe. Planet, once a blue marble, now resembles a faded memory of what it was. Of course, this is only a thought experiment. The Pacific Ocean cannot simply vanish overnight. Its volume, its gravity, its connection to every system on Earth make it irreplaceable. But this scenario reveals something profound. It shows us just how dependent life is on balance. Every gust of wind, every drop of rain, every breath we take connects back to the deep pulse of the Pacific. Without it, the planet becomes not just dry but silent. Even the stars above would seem colder, dimmer, as if the Earth itself had stopped breathing. The Pacific is more than water. It is memory. It is power. It is the ancient mirror of Earth's soul. Every storm that forms, every tide that touches the shore reminds us that this vast ocean is not separate from us. It is us. Our climate, our food, our oxygen, our evolution, all born in its depths. If the Pacific were ever to vanish, humanity would not just lose an ocean. We would lose the very rhythm that sustains life itself. So, the next time you stand at the edge of the sea, listen to that endless rolling sound. That is the heartbeat of a living planet, and perhaps a reminder of what we can never afford to lose. But if the Pacific could drain away, what else could vanish? What if gravity itself stopped working?